Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at Shadow Shiny Zapdos in the Open Ultra League. And this Pokemon actually is way better than you might expect, because in the current meta there are so many water and fire type Pokemon. So this thing actually can really shine, and I would really recommend you to try this one out. But if you can tell already, this team has a glaring weakness, because our lead is double weak to fairies, our Sasop is weak to fairies, and of course our closer is pretty squishy, so yeah, Zapdos not going to be too great against it either. But I thought it's still going to be fine, because I basically haven't seen a single fairy type Pokemon at all over like the last few days where I played the Ultra League. So for me, I thought this is going to be great. And since I started playing this team, I think I encountered like 12 fairy type Pokemon in 15 battles. So while I can say here also, by the way, I think I would have won CMP type. I'm fairly certain I would won CMP type if I would have actually got the move off. Like, honestly, like the game was so broken for me. But I have to say that Shadow Zapdos was so much fun. By far the coolest Pokemon of this team. Really good to play, as you're gonna see here right now in this example as well, because the opponent screwed up there quite a bit, and we can still go ahead and go for a charge move against the opponent, win this game. But yeah, there's going to be some issues which you're gonna see here already. I have not seen a single fairy type Pokemon before. I even made a video in the Ultra League where I was saying like, oh, the entire meta is really weak to a fairy type Pokemon, but nobody is using it. Maybe I'm gonna make a video about Shadow Grand Ball. This was something that I said in the Ultra League video prior. But yeah, since then, I guess everybody went ahead and went for fairy type Pokemon, which is really annoying for this team. How to fix this? Run Feraligatr in the lead. Basically, before I started playing this team, I had the decision to make. Do I want to go for Guslord? Do I want to go for Feraligatr? Feraligatr makes us a little bit more neutral against fairy type leads, while Guslord is going to give us a little bit more bulk. And I decided to go for the bulk because, again, I haven't seen a single fairy type Pokemon before. Now, of course, I regret it afterwards. But it is what it is. Like, what can I really do about it? It is just, we kind of have to deal with it here. Of course, you're going to have a Greedent in the back, which is going to be a little bit awkward. But yeah, I would just say go for Feraligatr, because most of the idea, if you play it, you're not going to encounter a single fairy type Pokemon in the lead when you play Feraligatr. But honestly, like, I played those battles in the evening while I was talking to my girlfriend as well, and I was like, I don't really get furious, but like, if it's like complete bullshit, I'm kind of feeling like a little bit pissed off about the game as well. And like, the amount of fairy type Pokemon, especially that I faced in lead, was wild. But it actually came back against quite a few of them. Maybe you can see the next one. We cannot. It's going to be a Charizard here. Charizard going to be kind of neutral for us, so I'm kind of okay with this matchup. The opponent swaps out, and we can swap out into our Zapdos. This was a mistake. I didn't want to do this. I wanted to go into my Annihilape. Why did I want to go into my Annihilape? Because Zapdos is going to have to shield here, while Annihilape is going to be a better matchup. Plus, Zapdos is better against Charizard, and Zapdos in general is just a better closer. So, it is going to be still okay, because we can reach that, the Thunderbolt in time, and so we can still get the knockout. Drill Peck wouldn't be enough, and so the opponent has to go for a Blast in order to knock me out, but they actually decided to go for a Dragon Claw, so we can still even reach another Drill Peck. And Shadow Zapdos, again, as said before, this Pokemon is insane. Like, this Pokemon is really good. I would really recommend you to try this Pokemon out if you have one. It is just that fairy type Pokemon are tricky for this team, and go for something different than instead. Next opponent, exactly what I say. Like, honestly, like, it was absolutely wild. Like, I do understand that the fairy type Pokemon are coming out now. Like, when I battled before in the Ultra League, I was also realizing that there are so many teams that are insanely weak to fairy type Pokemon, which I'm playing right now as well. So like, it is not something where I'm like, okay, yeah, that doesn't make sense that the opponent is doing this now. But it was like so weird that, of course, as soon as I started playing this team here, I only encounter fairy types. I don't believe in the algorithm, by the way. I just think it's quite funny how the meta shifted the day where I decided to play this team. If I played this team, I think like 1 or 2 days prior, most I would have had like 5-0 games, like sets and whatever. But like, now with all the fairy types, it is just a little bit mad. In comes the boys time against our Guslord. Here I actually make a mistake in this battle, which kinda really is going to be sad for me, as I decide to hold onto my energy for a little bit too long. They can still get to another charge move here, which is okay. But as you're gonna see, the opponent is going to be able to swap out now, and I was not able to knock out the Greedent. And this is going to be very bad for me, because now the Greedent is still lurking in the back. I still have to basically use energy against it to get rid of it. And this is going to shift the tone quite a bit here, as it would have been such an easy game to win if the opponent was, if I just went for the crunch before, which would have then kind of knocked them out, but like this, the opponent's going to be able to knock me out, and it's going to be a loss. Depending on what they have in the back, this might have been a win, but it is what it is. Let's move on to the next one. This is the Pokemon I wanted to play in the lead, yeah, Feraligatr. Feraligatr with Ice Beam especially would be really good as a lead here instead of the Gustlord. And Shadow variant, of course, going to be even a little bit better for it. Here, the opponent stays in, means they're going to be kind of weak against my Gustlord in the back, at least with a one Pokemon. So here we can still just go for the full farm down. After this incoming Hydro Cannon, we still should be fine. There's no real way that the opponent should get to another move, and we just gonna get a ton of energy here instead. We can swap out. They're going to have the Annihilape in the back as well, and they decide to swap out into their own Mewtwo. Very lucky for us. If they stayed in, this might have been a little bit more tricky, but because they swapped out now, we can go ahead and go for a Shadow Ball, allowing us to get a shield from them. We can just force the opponent to go for a Side Strike, and also we have a ton of energy stored on our own Gustlord. And so now the energy, especially the crunch, is not going to go to waste basically, but we're actually going to be able to do some substantial damage here against the opponent, while also getting the defense drop against them. And if this is going to be a Side Strike, we can still survive. It is a Side Strike, it's still going to be enough for us to survive, and so we can go for another Dragon Claw. We have a shield advantage, we have the knockout here, and it's going to be just the Zapdos against the Annihilape. There's basically nothing they can do. One Drill Peck should basically be enough to knock them out. We will see here, it's just barely not enough, but we can just farm them all the way down. They will not be able to win this game. They are forced to go for those Ice Punches right now, and we can just go for the full farm down with Thunder Shock. I did not lie to you if I said that basically every single game I had like a Fairy-type Pokemon there all of a sudden, especially in the lead. Like, if I had a Fairy-type Pokemon that swaps in like into my Annihilape, it would be only half as bad, but like basically all my Fairy-types were in the lead, which was absolutely wild. But in comes here the Como. I misplay this quite a bit. But it's going to be okay. I can still go for an Ice Punch here. I was hoping that they would use a shield, which they don't, and now they can just farm me down with their Fairy-type Pokemon, and it is basically game over already. Oh, never mind, they're going to go into their Dragonite, giving me some play, because I actually can still reach the Ice Punch, I can force a shield, and now the world is going to be a little bit different, because now I can align my Gustlord here, which is still not a great matchup, but at least something where I can still do some damage and survive. And I know that they're going to swap out anyway directly afterwards, so I decided to swap out myself. They're going to swap into the Ninetales, I swap into my Zapdos, and yeah, the normal Ninetales, actually, they only have a normal one, is going to be able to survive a move here, so that's going to be a little bit tricky. But again, like before, I'm definitely still gonna get like a ton of comments about, oh, your team is so weak against Charm. I know. I actually know about this, but yeah, again, Feraligatr in the lead, going to save you quite a lot of headaches in the current meta. Again, it can shift away from all the fairy types, but it was just mad on how many I faced all of a sudden, but it is what it is. Let's move on to the next one. Like, honestly, what can I say? Like, I felt like it was like such a joke to me. Like, I honestly can't even say anything. You're gonna get completely hardballed here for the next game. Hooray! We see the Hydro Cannon coming through, but because I'm not Shadow, I can actually still survive everything and go for a Shadow Ball. Oh, look at this! We have Frame Drop, so can only get a Great onto the Shadow Ball. Isn't this amazing? Like, literally, this kind of stuff makes me furious. Like, I don't really care too much about like losing games in general, but if it's bullshit, it is just kind of annoying with like Frame Drops with like only Fairy type leads all of a sudden. It is just very annoying. But like, yeah, at the end of the day, I can just laugh about it as well. Like, it's not that I'm actually like really angry about this. I'm just laughing it off at this point. It is just kind of ridiculous, but at least here I can get some energy advantage with my Zapdos. And this game was kind of wild. Honestly, I did not really think that there's anything that I can do in order to win this game at this point. Thunderbolt is going to connect, is going to actually be able to two-shot them. But of course, I still have a shield left. They know what they have in the bag. They know what I have in the bag. And it is basically impossible to win this game here, right? Let's find out. The opponent is going to be able to take that Drill Peck, most likely going to use a shield here. I am forced to, oh actually never mind, they're not going to use a shield, but I can at least still go for a Drill Peck. I have to hope that the opponent is gonna go ahead and use a shield. They do, and now there is a chance. Because I can actually catch the move here onto my Gustlord. It's going to be just perfectly basically for us the media mesh, so I can still get a crunch of, look at this, we're gonna get the defense drop, and so we can still reach a Thunderbolt. And an impossible game just got completely flipped with just the craziest play there as well. Good game there. Let's move on to the next one. Finally, no fairy type, right? Oh, wait, they swap out into a Shadow Grand Ball. Isn't this amazing? Like, I kind of, like, this is the thing as well. Like, usually, I wouldn't really show this kind of stuff. Like, my content, usually, I just, like, showcase mainly the teams that really work out well. This team, actually, in the 2 sets that you see here right now, that are all, like, all games from the first 2 sets that I played, I actually went 5-5. Spoiler alert for that one. Of course, only 2 games left of this at this point. But, like, I still feel like there's something that I can kind of and should kind of show as well, on how ridiculous sometimes the game can be. It is not only for you the case, it's also for me the case. I just usually don't really show it, but yeah, we have a double charm team here. Isn't this lovely? It is so wild. Next opponent, we're going to have a Gutslot here against the Gliscor. That is going to be a fairly neutral matchup for, so at least it's not going to be a fairy type for once. And this is not going to be double charm for once as well, which is great for me. It's like, honestly, like, I'm just laughing off it. Like, those kind of things, like, I don't know, I kind of find them funny. But in comes here right now the Annihilape. I kind of misplay this quite a bit. I should have most likely not went into my... Oh, no, never mind. Actually, I should have went into my Zapdos. This is actually the correct play. I'm going to hope that this is going to be a Night Slash. It's my only way of winning this game, or like having a chance of winning this game, and it is a Night Slash, which now allows me to go ahead and get another move off, hopefully afterwards, as yeah, we can just barely still survive this one, which is great for me. And comes now the Drill Peck. They're going to shield this one up, but I still have a shield left, so my Annihilape going to win this matchup against the opponent's Annihilape, as he can just use one shield here, and this is going to be very good for us, as the Shadow Ball is going to get shielded. They're going to go into the Gliscor. They tried to go ahead and go for the sneaky aerial ace there. It did not work out for them at all. I can go for one knockout. Let's see what is coming in next. It is going to be the Feraligatr, and so I try to catch the move, and everything just works out really, really well here. We're going to be able to now, yeah, catch the move here, go for the Crunch. Crunch is coming through, doing some decent damage against them, and this should put them also into farm down range, hopefully, for my Annihilape, but no, they decide to stay in, allowing me to even go for a Crunch here, so one Ice Punch would be enough as well, but of course we have a Shadow Ball stored, and so this is going to be amazing. As the Shadow Ball is going to connect, we will be able to win this game, and we can move on into the final one. Hopefully no fairy type Pokemon, no even a worse lead. Like, okay, not really a worse lead, but it's still a very bad lead here for us, which is going to be the Alolan Sandslash. This Pokemon, I think actually maybe I went 6-4. I actually don't even know anymore. But either I went 5-5 or 6-4 with this team. Crunch coming through here. The opponent, we can still swap out into our Annihilape. And Annihilape is going to be able to take that Drill Run. It's going to be resisted apparently. Like, it's just showing up completely wrong for whatever reason. But we can just go for the Shadow Ball against the opponent's Lantern, which is going to be great for us. Let's see here. It is going to be able to connect. And so the opponent is going to be able to knock us out here with the Thunderbolt. I can swap back into my Gustard, get some energy for later on. And now Crunch will be very good for the matchup against the, Sandslash, hopefully. But in comes something different. It's going to be that Poliwrath. And so I can go for one Dragon Claw. I hope they're going to use a shield here. Please use a shield. They do not. And so I'm forced to swap out immediately into my Zapdos, reaching that Drill Peck in time. But I was pretty hopeful at this point, because I think I should be able to always outspeed the opponent's Alolan Sandslash. They have one fast move advantage, but also I need for the second Drill Peck only 4 fast moves myself. And so I will always CMP tie, and I'll always win the CMP tie. And also, the opponent, the Poliwrath, is going to not have any energy anymore. And so I will definitely be able to reach a Drill Peck in time against the Poliwrath at this point, and this is going to be enough, showcasing how overpowered Zapdos can be. Again, Feraligatr Elite would make this most likely 10 times better, but this is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.